Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital and welcome back to the Rekt Capital channel. Thanks so much for joining me in today's video where we're going to be tackling the topic of the monthly RSI for Bitcoin. And this is actually analysis from a thread of mine on Twitter, so feel free to check that out. But I'm going to give you an updated perspective since what has happened over the past few weeks or so. So let's dive into the video. Like the video if you're going to enjoy the topic, and of course subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. So today, this is the updated chart. But before we talk about that, this is one of the more key things to mention here is that previous bear market bottoms in 2018 and in 2015 have occurred at this green area. And we can see here that this RSI, this portion, this cluster of RSI movement here, has broken below these historical bottoms and in fact turned this area into a resistance right over here and right over here, denoting and forming a series of lower highs. So definitely not a good sign here. First time ever that the RSI monthly has dropped to these levels to around the 40 region. So all-time lows for the monthly RSI, never before seen values on the RSI, and since then we've seen a flick up, and in fact we've seen a channel form denoting the lower highs and the lower lows, but at the same time we're now seeing a fantastic breakout on the RSI from this downtrending channel. And if the monthly closes like this in a few weeks time, then we're probably going to see some sort of retest via this green pathway, followed by a move towards the upside, or we might actually skip this retest altogether and move towards the upside, because the most important thing that this downtrending channel is showing us and is actually suggesting to us is that this downtrending channel has to have a breakout for the RSI to reclaim this green area, these previous bear market bottoms. And by doing that, by following through on this later stage of the green pathway, by doing that, Bitcoin would confirm a bullish trend on the RSI. And the significance of that is that generally this is the bear market bottoming area, but we can also see a red trend line here. And this is just showcasing to us that Bitcoin has been in a macro trend all along. So essentially, bottoming at this red trend line and rallying towards the top of the trend line right over here, these series of lower highs. So it's essentially Bitcoin behaving from tremendously oversold to tremendously overbought at the peak of the bull market. So bull market peaks occur at these regions around the 90 oversold RSI at this red trend line. So we're probably going to see the next bull market peak occur probably somewhere around this region, maybe the 85 RSI, depending on how acutely slanting this trend line is going to be in the future after the halving event. But that's going to be a ways away. We can see that just by measuring this distance. So July 2016 being the halving, and around 2017 end is when we saw that bull market peak. So a year and a half later, and what about here, May 2020 and November 21, so roughly a year and a half later, probably even less. So in fact, are we seeing a declining tendency here where we see RSI and bull market peaks occur a little bit sooner? So after halving, August, or rather May 2024, could we see that halving, that bull market peak in the RSI as well as in price? Could we see that peak happen a little bit sooner in, say, October, September of 2025? Something to bear in mind based on these recurring tendencies on the monthly RSI. In any case, one of the more important things to mention as well about a developing bullish macro trend is the bullish divergences on the RSI. And if we were to see this sort of breakout here and this retest right over here, that could be our bullish divergence right there. So in fact, we could see that satisfy in the next few months, really. And it could be this sort of relatively short bullish divergence that plays out over a period of months. And indeed, this sort of retesting would give us that higher low to develop that bullish divergence. But what if we see a bullish divergence that's a little bit wider and takes a little bit more time, a few years even? So that would be quite interesting to see if we see this higher low and then maybe another higher low in the future after the halving, or maybe just before it. Difficult to say, but that bullish divergence is another factor to bear in mind for confirming a bullish trend on the monthly RSI. So this is a chart from late December, as most of these charts are, aside from the most updated ones from today. In this thread, I also mentioned that we have a synchronicity in bear market bottoms, and this synchronicity between bear market bottoms seems to be, or could be, repeating. And based on this 1,460-day period between two bear market bottoms, if this were to repeat, January 2023 would be the time for the bear market bottom for the RSI to occur. And what's interesting about this is that we're seeing this RSI bottoming a little bit sooner than 1,460 days, apologies. We saw this bottom instead of January, we saw a bottom in December. And in January, we're actually seeing continuation in the form of a breakout. So really interesting to see that this synchronicity in terms of time between bear market bottoms on the RSI is almost near perfect, removed just 30 days compared to what we've seen before. That's really interesting to see here, and also something to bear in mind in terms of halving synchronicity as well, because the halving is an important event for Bitcoin's protocol. The blockchain fundamentally changes with each halving event, and perhaps some synchronicity to bear in mind. Perhaps are we seeing a bear market bottom at a declining rate in terms of time prior to the halving? And if this were to be the case, then this would suggest a bottom in February. If we were to indeed see this time pre-halving decline by around 60 days each cycle. So are we seeing that from 550 days to 486 days to 425 days? If this is to be the case, then February would be the RSI bottom. But of course, we're seeing a breakout on the RSI this January. So January and February are going to be those key regions, those key months rather, to watch out for a RSI bottom. And we might have got one already this December, but to confirm the beginning of the bull market in terms of the RSI at least, we need to see this bear market bottom area be reclaimed as a support. So here is the green box just showcasing to us that January and February are pivotal months for the RSI, and it's really interesting to see how this prediction is slowly playing out, where the RSI is already breaking out from its downtrending channel. And this downtrending channel is supposed to be a segue for the RSI on Bitcoin to break into this macro channel, for Bitcoin to resume its cyclical multi-year behavior within this macro channel. So the RSI is on good track, on the right track. Apologies. It's on the right track. Good progress towards this green area to just reclaim it as a support. Really important that it doesn't figure here as a resistance, or it could reject the RSI into this downtrending channel for a retest attempt. And as long as that holds there, then another challenge would probably see this green area be broken as a resistance and then reclaimed as a support for that bullish divergence to occur as we head into the halving event. And that's something to look forward to, because pre-halving, Bitcoin tends to rally quite strongly, but it's only after the halving where we see the most explosive gains made for Bitcoin as it enters that most euphoric stage of the bull market. In any case, we're in an interesting transitional period where Bitcoin is ending its bear market and slowly entering its new bull market. There is scope for downside still for Bitcoin's price action, but it's unclear whether that's going to happen because we are in a bottoming out range. So do we have space for just one more downside wick to just give us that absolute final bottom? We might not get it. There's still scope for that, but nonetheless, Bitcoin is in a bottoming out phase in that transitional period, trying to develop its new bull trend, and there's lots to look forward to. And the RSI seems to just confirm that. We are slowly changing sentiment from bearish to more macro bullish. Still a few technical steps for Bitcoin to really reclaim this bear market bottom area, but once it does, then there's a lot to be excited about, because that would mean that Bitcoin has confirmed a new bull trend. And going forward, Bitcoin will rally into the Bitcoin halving event. Not much would go on around the halving event, probably consolidation. But after a pre-halving retracement or immediate post-halving retracement, Bitcoin would rally explosively and exponentially to new all-time highs, heading into 2025 and at the earliest 2024, but more likely 2025 new all-time highs. In any case, that's about it for today's video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. And of course, sign up to the Rekt Capital newsletter, where I post newsletters Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today, I posted a new altcoin newsletter featuring 8 altcoins, quite a few of them, with really interesting insights about their setups, both bullish, both bearish as well. So shorting and longing opportunities galore. In any case, feel free to sign up to the newsletter. The link is in the comments, the pinned comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. And that's about it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Rekt Capital, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.